Welcome to this presentation on achieving SDG 4, Quality Education for All. My name is Nilesh Timbadia, and today we'll explore the significance of Sustainable Development Goal 4 and identify actionable strategies to promote inclusive and equitable education. Let's dive in. We will cover the following areas in this lesson: learning objectives, introduction, barriers to SDG 4, some case studies, key takeaways, and a reflection. The objective of today's session is to understand why SDG 4 is crucial and to explore how we can contribute to the achieving of quality education globally. By the end of this session, you should be able to clearly articulate the challenges and strategies related to SDG 4. Who knows the person in the picture? Yes, Joanne, it is Malala. Let's take a look at Malala's inspiring story. Malala's quote says, "One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world." The journey of Malala Yousafzai's bravery and courage in standing up for her rights in education, despite severe obstacles, emphasizes universal importance of SDG 4. Her journey highlights how education is a powerful tool for transformation both individually and globally. Yet millions of children, especially girls, are denied access to quality education, which SDG 4 focuses on. Her story is of resilience and fighting for education rights where girls were prohibited. She stood up despite facing violence and even an assassination attempt. Her message resonates globally. Education is a fundamental human right, and no child should be denied the opportunity to learn. The importance of SDG 4 is to ensure inclusive and equitable education. Right now, there are more than 244 million children that are out of school and millions who do not receive standard education. The key targets of SDG 4 include universal and primary and secondary education, access to quality early childhood development and care, equal access to affordable technical, vocational, and higher education, eliminate gender disparities in education, and promote lifelong learning opportunities. Let's now dive into the barriers. I have set up a Mentimeter and I want all of you all just to take the next 15 seconds to just key in some barriers that you feel are for SDG 4. While you key in those barriers in Mentimeter, I'll just read a quote from Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon in which you can use to change the world. I can see some of you all have already keyed in some of the barriers, and I'm just going to share with you the top 10 barriers for SDG 4. First is no money and poverty. Children from low-income families often have to work to support their family. Distance from home to school. When I was working in Sarawak, there were children who, like this picture, had to take boats to go to school or walk more than 10 kilometers to go to school. No teachers or trained teachers. In some of the rural areas, teachers just refuse to go to work over there. No classrooms. Some rural areas, there are no materials to build classrooms, or even if they have classrooms, they're just shacks without any fan or uh, blackboard, whiteboard. Lack of learning materials. Books, pencils, pens, writing equipment are not available. Being the wrong gender. As we talked about Malala Yousafzai's case, being in the wrong gender sometimes prevents people from attending school. Coming from a minority. I came from a minority in my country, but thankfully education was provided for everyone. However, there are areas where minority do not get a chance to go to school. war, conflict, and displacement. In countries that there are wars, children usually have to stay home, or some children even go to war. Disabilities and handicap. Many countries are not equipped to manage disabilities and handicaps in children, and therefore many handicapped and disabled children end up not going to school. And finally, lack of infrastructure. Moving on to case studies. Well, earlier we had talked about Costa Rica and La Salle Mission School, and I'm going to emphasize a little bit more on that. Before that, a quote from Abdul Kalam, who was the president of India at one time and a physician and a doctor. The best brains in nation may be found on the last benches of the classroom. In Costa Rica, government efforts to provide inclusive education have reduced inequality and improved literacy rates. They even use technology in rural areas to play a critical role to expand access, making it possible for students in remote areas to access quality education. The La Salle Mission School, on the other hand, which I am a product of, focuses on teaching to the lost, the last, and the least in society, emphasizing values like compassion, humility, and inclusivity. These schools provide education and care for marginalized students, fostering equitable learning environments. Some key takeaways. Let's recap the main points of why SDG 4 matters. Before that, a quote from Albert Einstein. Education is not the learning of facts, it is rather the training of the mind. What do you think, based on the barriers, are some of the reasons or takeaways why SDG 4 matters? Yes, Lee. Ending poverty. Yes, absolutely. The first one is breaking the cycle of poverty. Education is a foundation for lifting people out of poverty. Second is promoting equality and inclusion. It allows for inequalities and gender, ethnicity, socioeconomic status. Third is fostering global peace and security. When people are educated, the chances of them coming to the table are higher. Fourth is empowering future generations. And finally, it helps achieve other SDG goals. As we conclude, I encourage you to reflect on how you can make a difference. As Desmond Tutu said, inclusive, good quality education is a foundation for dynamic and equitable societies. So, what challenges are related to education that you can see in your community? How can you use your skills or resources to help overcome these challenges? Can you start a small initiative like a book drive or volunteering in a local school? As for action, remember that part of your assessment is a group presentation, making up of 25% of your grade. You will work with a team of three to address a real sustainable issue through research and action. Commit to one action in your group and that you will take to support education in your community. Barack Obama said, reading is important. If you read, the whole world opens up to you. So here are some recommended readings to explore further. All of these are available in the library. These resources will provide valuable insights into the global state of education and strategies for advancing SDG 4. I encourage you to dive deeper into this material to expand your understanding. Are there any questions? Yes, Lee. Okay, that was answered earlier, but I will provide you the answer in a short while again. If not, thank you very much and have a nice day.